Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 265. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers, and today's Mondays with Mello, and it's a special day. June 26th, the day my grandmother was born. So today would be her 90th birthday. She is no longer with us. She died when I was very young. I lost her when I was 8 years old. That is not a summer that I want to remember, but today is special because today I officially publish book number 50 on my grandmother's 90th birthday. And I promise you, this was not planned at all. It just happened that way. And when I decided to do, the Alphabet City series and, the process of, writing the book series and deciding that the 26th of each month was going to be, the days I'd be, publishing each book per month, I didn't realize that I was going to hit a milestone of book number 50 on my grandmother's 90th birthday. And I realized it 2 weeks ago, and I told my mom this over the phone, and she was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, you're telling me." I'm like, shoot, I really didn't think that was going to be the case, but here we are. So happy birthday, Grandma. Hopefully you're smiling down on all of the things I've been doing for the past few years. I've also done a couple of bonehead things, but hey, that's part of life. That's part of living. That's part of learning, things of that nature. My grandmother was a huge component to my life. I only had her for 8 years, but I do have plenty of great memories, plenty of things that I remember about her, plenty of moments I've shared. My grandmother is Italian. My grandfather is Brazilian. That's on my mother's side. So I am Brazilian, Italian, and Black for those who don't know. I do have Cherokee Indian in me also on my mother's side of the family. I am a mutt, as people would say, or a mixed breed. People run with the narrative that I'm Black. Yes, I am, but that's not the only nationalities that I am. So my grandmother has, Italian roots, and didn't get to learn a lot of that stuff, unfortunately, but older family members, have shared, a lot of things, about my family, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. But the point is that my grandmother always instilled a lot of things in my mom, and my mom has passed those things down on to me. Even certain family dishes, my mom has passed those down on to me that my grandmother taught her. So the journey continues, right? The generational goodness of our family gets passed down. Obviously, every family has its bad aspects, and I'm doing my best to change those things. At some point, there's that generation that changes certain things, and I think that's my generation on my mom's side of the family, and that's a good thing. My grandmother did a lot of things for me. She spoiled me rotten. It drove my mother crazy. And then in the latter years, as I got a little bit older, my grandfather spoiled me, so that it drove my mom even more crazy. But that's what grandparents do. They spoil you. They do certain things that, they never did with their kids, but they did it for their grandkids. And I guess that's just part of the whole, family narrative and how that goes. So I definitely enjoyed my time, that I did have with my grandmother. And um, I will say that she does visit me in spirit. There was a certain place that I lived in New York where she would come and visit me and watch me while I was writing books and things of that nature. So I hope that she is proud of me, of all that I'm doing and all that I have done and accomplished. I have a long way to go. There's no way I can say that I am completely fulfilled with all of the writing that I've done yet. Book number 50 is a huge accomplishment. I did make a contract with God that I was going to do 60 books, and by the end of this year, I will have written and published 56 books. I am currently working on books for next year, actually. So after 12 books this year, I will be moving on to only publishing 4 next year. And it's because I will be focusing on a lot of other projects. And one of them is recording audiobooks. I have not been able to make the time for it. Where I record currently isn't really ideal to really be recording audiobooks at this present time, because we are in the mix of 110 degrees plus, so I have to run my AC for a good while in my apartment. But I record in my walk-in closet, and yeah, there is no air vent in here to get air conditioning in here. So neither here or there. 50 books is a lot. I have only seen one author on social media that is like a Black author that's written 50 books. So it feels good. I don't care for the bestseller status, and I don't care to plaster that all over my books either. That's not my goal. Never has been, never will be. I don't care for book deals. I don't care to publish books with other companies, even though I swear up and down Instagram freaking spies on me and sends me all this BS about it, and I really don't care. So it's a milestone for me. I'm proud of myself. You probably have never heard me say I'm proud of myself on my podcast platform in probably about 3-4 years that I've been doing this, but I am here to say that I am proud of myself. I'm not going to celebrate or go doing anything crazy or anything like that. This past weekend was just another weekend for me. Same routine, go to the gym, clean my apartment, pre-record, my podcast, things of that nature. Take care of the business I need to take care of. For those who live in Arizona and live in Phoenix area, tri-state area, on Saturday, July 1st, I will be at a book meet and greet festival for authors. So I will be autographing 7 of my books, 7 out of my 50. There's no way in the world I'm ever going to a book festival with all of the books that I've written and published. That's just not what I'd be doing. It's counterproductive. So I've had fun on this journey. I've enjoyed a lot of the moments that I have, a lot of moments I don't share on social media because a lot of those moments are sacred to me and my heart, and it gives me an opportunity to tell stories to people instead of them seeing the story on social media and already knowing what I'm going to say. So I keep a lot of things to myself for the most part. I am a private person. I've really taken steps to really not share too many of my family moments or moments with my best friends and things of that nature. Sometimes a lot of that stuff doesn't need to make it to social media. Sometimes it's 10 years from now, you sit and say, yeah, remember the time when? And then you have those conversations with those people. I wish my grandmother was still here in some ways, but I will say that I'm not where I am if my grandmother was still here. My mother's not where she is if she's still here. And I think my mother and I had an agreement with that. So that's the good part. So My mom's always believes that things happen the way they're supposed to get us to where we're supposed to be later on in life. And I would agree in a lot of ways. I have another way of thinking when it comes to those things, but I don't need to delve into all of that. So, number 50 on my grandmother's 90th. It's huge. It's great. It's one for the memories. And it's a story that I can share with people that I meet and come across in life and things of that nature. This will definitely be one of my favorite podcasts that I've recorded because I'm sharing my story, I'm sharing my life, I'm being open and vulnerable and honest and succinct and sincere and all of the other words that you can think of that are in a positive light. And I figured I was just going to come on this podcast today with no bullet points, no script. I am just, expressing myself, and hopefully I've done a pretty good job at sharing this. And like I've always said, I never thought in a million years I'd be an author, let alone a podcaster, but I'm gracious and thankful that I am here. And granted, I love sports. I've been in sports forever. I've been playing basketball since I was 8 years old. I'm 40 now, so you can do the math pretty quick on how long I've been playing basketball. I've loved sports, and I have friends doing sports podcasts, and they're trying to get me to do it, but it's just not something that I love. But I do love writing about social issues. I do love, having those uncomfortable conversations. And if I can meet a good 5,000 to 10,000 people that are good with those uncomfortable conversations, then I feel good about myself. Do I want millions of people to read my books? Of course I do. That would be lovely. That would be a great thing. But time will tell if I get to that point, and if I get there, beautiful thing. But I'm always going to be continuing to strive for greatness and goals, and that's what my grandmother would only want for me anyway. So just wanted to jump on here and give you a little special episode today. Hope you guys enjoy listening to it. Since you guys love listening to my podcast, which I'm thankful for, guess what? I have audiobooks. So payhip.com/Jamel Crothers. You'll find my audiobooks there. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your family members, tell your coworkers about the podcast. Share it, love it, like it. Drop me voice messages, drop me messages on my podcast website, theaquarianmindpodcast.com. And I'm on all these major platforms where podcasts are. So if you're there, stick to it. But just know that my website has all the episodes broken down into Mondays with Mello, Wednesday Motivation Inspiration, Friday Book Insight, and all of my book series are broken down also. So if you ever wanted to backtrack and find a certain episode of a book that I have recorded, you can find it way faster on my website than scrolling on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else. All right, guys, that's my podcast for today. This episode is definitely dedicated to my grandmother. Always miss you, but doing my best to make you proud. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.